it seems to be like Pakistanis and Islam and Muslims are inherently evil.
Their aim is not only to targeting Pakistanis. Their aim is not only to targeting Muslims. They have a very, I would say, dangerous, sensitive aims behind it. Average Pakistani's contribution in the GDP growth is 9.5% higher than the white person living in the UK. Or why the British people should come under the influence of any kind of American influence. Indian propaganda machines, they would love to have any kind of opportunity where they can carry on their false narrative propaganda against Muslims and particularly against Pakistanis.
It was very surprising coming from the Indian community at large, proliferating such Islamophobic tirades when they themselves faced this racist attack regarding the H1B issues back in America. Greetings, everyone, and welcome back to the TFT Perspective. Viewers, the grooming gang issue and child sexual exploitation, these stories have taken the United Kingdom by storm. This issue has been going for quite some time. It's been almost 2 weeks now, and the latest is that a bill which was being submitted by the Conservative Party, especially to hold a giant inquiry, especially on a federal level inside United Kingdom concerning this, especially when it comes to connections with different ethnicities, particularly Pakistanis who've been targeted by X as well as Muslims at large. So that bill was declined inside, the UK Parliament as Labour overwhelmingly suggested that this is a local issue and should be investigated by different agencies, and that inquiry into this subject matter might cause further disturbance in the region. Other than that, when it comes to X at large as well as other social media outlets, this whole Tommy Robinson issue, especially being proliferated by Mr. Elon Musk, who is the head of X, was actually quite remarkable when it came to showing their internal Islamophobic trends for the entire world. What we witnessed just within 2 weeks, an entire narrative concerning the immigration, concerning positivity when it comes to cohesion between different communities, it rested on a piece of platter by entirely right-wing media outlets and extreme outlets who actually said and launched up themes that it seems to be like Pakistanis and Islam and Muslims are inherently evil. These aliens are not welcome inside Europe or inside United States. The entire brush up of history and facts was completely negated, and the entire focus regarding these grooming gangs were entirely focused on the Pakistani community at large. We're going to discuss this because this is a serious matter, as we witnessed inside August 2024 when large scale riots took place inside UK, especially in London, in which a lot of immigrants were targeted based on false stories proliferated by right-wing outlets, and later on what we witnessed was violence against immigrants and racist attacks as well. So today we are joined by Dr. Hamid Khan Al-Mashriqi. He is the Director of Operations of DMTV inside Manchester. He's been on a lot of, I would say, international shows as well as on Russian television, as well as on TRT, on BBC as well. And he's very much connected when it comes to international analysis at large. We are going to discuss this issue that is taken the UK by storm. We welcome you to this show, Dr. Hamid Khan Al-Mashriqi. Thank you so much for joining us. Sir, what we have witnessed inside UK since last 2 weeks, the story that has shaken like the fundamentals of United Kingdom's politics, especially when it comes to handling immigration. The grooming gang seems to be a cause of concern for the wrong reasons, I would say, because the focus has completely driven away from the victims and their suffering. It has actually went towards the perpetrators, their ethnicity, their religion, and the primary focus of a lot of far right individuals is on Pakistan as well as on Muslim community, and that Islam seems to be inherently evil. Such kind of themes have been established, especially being pioneered by one of the biggest owners of one of the biggest social media outlets on X, Elon Musk. So far, uh, after what we witnessed inside United Kingdom's Parliament is that a comprehensive inquiry has not been come up forward. The bill has not been passed for that. Labour has unanimously voted against it. So indirectly, what we witnessed beforehand as well, the events that took place in August 2024, the London riots, seems to be directly against the Muslim community, especially linked with different ethnic backgrounds. Would we witness the same outrage from a lot of, I would say, far right groups against Muslims and Pakistanis in particular, if something is not done regarding this story?
Thank you very much, Umar. I would say that it is classic example of Islamophobia and targeting particularly Pakistani diaspora, which is the largest diaspora in the United Kingdom as an ethnic minority. If you look at the entire situation, it is not only about targeting Pakistanis or Muslims. It is about giving, I would say, that facilitation to the rest of the 98% who are the actually perpetrators of it, who are the actually criminals of it. I believe that if you look at the stats, there is only less than 2%, the criminals who've been involved in it, and there is no justification for any such criminals. I mean, entire community is standing with the victims, and entire community support that every possible punishment should have been given to the criminals and perpetrators. But by marginalizing, by mentioning, by clearly discriminating them with the label of being Pakistanis and Muslims, that is very wrong, because it is creating further Islamophobia. It is creating further hatred and division in such a harmonious society of United Kingdom for the last many decades. I think it needs to be taken very seriously, not only from the Labour current government, but also from our civil society in UK and from the rest of the world as well. Because this way, it is actually, I firmly believe that this way it is giving a leverage, it is giving a giveaway, a margin to those 98%, where over 80% are overwhelming majority of 80% are white people who are doing the groomings, who are doing the gang rape, who are involved in such crime. And it is not from me, it is not from you. The stats has been given by the United Kingdom UK Police Department, UK investigation agencies. So their stats are very clear, and that's why the police chief have given a very clear statement in relation to that as well. One more thing which is very important, that by doing all this, what is their aim? That is our main concern. Their aim is not only to targeting Pakistanis. Their aim is not only to targeting Muslims. They have a very, very, I would say, dangerous, very, I would say, sensitive aims behind it. Their aim is to damage the social fabric of United Kingdom, to damage the harmony between the so many diverse cultures who are living here, to bringing polarization in in the United Kingdom society, and all that will facilitate who? The far right political ideology, the ideology of hatred, the ideology of white supremacy, the ideology which has no justification for coexistence. This is very dangerous. We cannot afford in 21st century the ideology of any kind of racial discrimination, any kind of ideology where one certain community is being targeted. So I believe that there is no justification for the criminals, but labeling them with such kind of whether ethnicity, whether religion, and then if you go into the details of those criminals, they are of those 2%, they are living there for 2 generations. They are not like they are saying they came from Pakistan. No, it is their second or third generation. And sadly, they fail to understand the basic ideology of Islamic living style. I believe that who understands the basics of Islam and basics of our religion, he would have no reason, no justification whatsoever to touch or to even think about doing such kind of crimes. So I believe that this Elon Musk, what he said, is clearly disproportionate. It is clearly have no justification. And that's why, I mean, British Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer have clearly said that it is nothing but lies, because he has, as a public prosecutor in 2014, he was part of that prosecution, and he's the one who has dealt with this case, and he believed there is no need to go for further investigations.
Other than that, there was a very surprising question raised by far right groups, especially the Brexit community, we call them here. Nigel Farage raised the issue that Mr. Starmer hasn't done enough for these, and his reply seems to be slightly fair, especially from the Prime Minister of UK, who suggested that 14 years have been these episodes have been going on while the Conservative Party was in power. Why weren't these investigations concluded at that time? Other than that, don't you think that when it comes to Mr. Musk, he has been interfering in now the German elections as well with his I would say announcement of directly supporting the alternate for Deutschland inside Germany. So now he is bashing a Labour Party inside UK. Isn't it like I would say a design by far right groups that they are uniting against liberal parties to actually squash the narrative they have in order to build up more hatred based politics inside UK, inside Europe, as well as in America? What we have witnessed just in within 2 weeks, the entire discussion which was focused initially against Elon Musk concerning the H1B issues inside United States now shifted to another community from South Asia. It seems like a lot of, I would say, rhetoric regarding this is that they inherently despise immigrants at large, because according to many statistics, just in 2021 census results came up, and they suggested it around 25% of UK's population overall immigrants make up with different ethnic groups, especially Pakistanis make up around 2.7% of that, around 1.6 million. So even if you count that group, don't you think that Pakistani community has contributed so much inside UK that now they can actually be deserved to be called UK citizens rather than being criticized for, you know, uh, on over actions of a few people who have nothing to do with Islam, who have nothing to do with them being Pakistanis?
Yes, definitely, Omar. There are a few things. I mean, you have very rightly mentioned a lot of points. I would say the way Elon Musk is behaving, he's behaving like a de facto president of United States. He's behaving like, it reminds me the early days of fall of USSR, when Russia was fallen, and then they started dictating the new world order, that like they have become the champion of the all the human rights and all the things in the world. It is not factual. It is based on something which will not be acceptable on large scale in the world. His basic mindset is very different. I mean, sadly, I never want to criticize anybody's personal life, but if you look into Elon Musk's personal life, or his father, how he became a father of two kids from his own stepdaughter, and such a, I mean, ill relationships, that he has no right to talk about these things. Secondly, the way he is targeting liberal ideas, or labor, or I would say the popular ideas and popular political parties, it is very sad. Whether it is in Justin Trudeau in Canada, I mean, it is again the way they attacked on him, the way they forced him to resign, and the way they are supporting the Conservative Party there. Then the same in German elections, far right party has been supported, and that's why, I mean, even Angela Merkel, ex chancellor, she has to speak a lot about it. That she believes that no country should have right to interfere. Similarly, in Britain, I mean, it's not only about the contribution of Muslims. Particularly, I'll give you a stat which says that average Pakistani's contribution in the GDP growth is 9.5% higher than a white person living in the UK. Means that a Pakistani brown person is contribution towards the growth of the United Kingdom almost 10 times more than a white British people who's living here. There is no survival of the British society without the existence of Pakistani, without the contribution of Pakistani. There is no question that England can thrive like the England economy can thrive like this. There is no question that English justice system, health system, I would say their road infrastructure, their transport system, and their economical system. So many areas where Pakistanis are contributing a lot, and it is very significant contribution. I mean, as I am working on few things, and soon it will be published as well. I'm sending few stats to the British Parliament as well and to the rest of the world, where it is very clearly mentioned that how British Muslims and especially British Pakistanis have contributed since World War II, prior to World War One. I have been head of an organization which is made by which is consisted of 14 Muslim countries, and that organization have done a very good research along myself that how much Muslims have contributed even in the World War One and Two to save the British soil. Then how did they help when there was nobody to even to start their chimneys? There was shortage of manpower. There was shortage of skilled labor. Then there was shortage of medical paramedics. So it's a long history. Nobody is denying. I'll tell you, majority of the British people, they do understand the necessity and the contribution and importance of Pakistani diaspora in the United Kingdom. Sadly, this far right ideology, which you have very rightly mentioned by Nigel Farage, and the people who are supporting him are of that mindset, they think that by doing all that, they will be able to undermine the contribution. It is not possible. If they think this way, they will be able to change the stats or the reality, what is in the British society. It is not possible. I believe that this entire episode, as Prime Minister Keir Starmer said as well, and I did interview as well Keir Starmer personally, and I asked him about Islamophobia, about racial discrimination, and he was very clear about it. I'm not saying that he was all very good, but his stance is very clear that Islamophobia is a problem, racial discrimination is a problem, and the government needs to address it. And sadly, the previous governments, Tory governments, were failed to address it. Rather, they are the one who, I would say, increased in their during their 10, 11 years. The Islamophobia and the racial crime were increased. And I think this is the blaming on current government for not pursuing these cases is not justified and it's not right. So that is absolutely clear.
Yeah, if we look at the background regarding the August 2024 riots that took place, a lot of, I would say, lawfare was changed inside UK to accommodate, I would say, the overall issue at the helm of affairs, which was far right, basically lamenting anger over fake news. So we just witnessed Mr. Musk actually, on purpose, he held up a list of individuals suggesting that there was a debate going on inside UK Parliament regarding deportation of, alleged rapists, but these following MPs from Labour didn't vote. It turned out to be the Windrush scandal, which was concerning Jamaicans who were being unfairly deported from, UK to their other places inside the world. So, if we have fake news being disseminated by such powerful people as well, what mechanism do you think UK as well as the Labour Party right now have to counter such narratives, to apply themes that actually make a calmer situation for Muslims and Pakistanis in particular?
Umar, it is not only about a fake news or false propaganda. It is a clearly ignorance from Elon Musk. It is ignorance from his entire team. It shows how much research they do before putting anything on Twitter. It is very sad. I mean, it is not the one case. It is there are many other examples in the history of Elon Musk and Twitter where they have been, I would say, tweeting, and they have been propaganda within the false news, fake news, and it is has been badly exposed as well. In this case, it is very clear that whatever happened in August riots, it was again, there was no Pakistani involved. There was not even any Muslim involved. It was all based on a fake news incitement by the certain people, and it all happened. And the best thing is that again, the British justice system have clearly made the report, and they have clearly told that who was involved, not a Muslim. Who instigated, not a Muslim. So it is it is very clear that in British society, still the justice system is very active. The people know that if there anything like that would happen, they would have a very clear report or investigation within the matter. And now, if you look at the current situation, there is, I would say that a very, very large majority, even the far right people, they are not in favor of such kind of statements from Elon Musk because they believe in nation sovereignty. And they believe that there is nobody, whether Americans or anybody, they have right to dictate because the nation is already paying the price. What the Tony Blair did as a prime minister when he went into war against Iraq by just being a stooge of USA and his friendship with whatever it called with the Junior Bush, the nation still hates all that what happened there. Because I did my research and my thesis and PhD was the narrative, false narrative of Iraq war, and it is very clear that the people have very upsetting remarks about that. That why the British people or why the British people should come under the influence of any kind of American influence. They need to have their independent policy. There is no, I would say, there is no margin for anybody to interfere in British politics or British government. So I believe that sooner or later, his propaganda will be, I would say, would not be anymore. It would be exposed and badly finished.
Yeah, don't you think this will be slightly difficult, keeping in view we have people like Trump in power inside United States, who is giving absurd ideas like taking over Greenland and then also making Canada as the 51st state? It's like, European and American brotherhood is being compromised by these two people on a whim, and that a lot of liberal parties inside Europe cannot do anything about it. What we had witnessed, even the narratives being thrown up regarding Islam being inherently evil, or it's an issue regarding genetics. There were absurd studies regarding that as well. Most of them were actually coming from RSS and BJP type accounts from India as well. So, in that corrosive environment, what do you think should be done from the British community at large, especially Pakistani community, in order to counter this Islamophobic tyrant?
Look, I mean, there's no doubt that Indian, I would say fake propaganda machines, such as and which EU Disinfo Lab very clearly exposed in their investigation, Srivastav Group and other, media houses. I understand that they would love to have any kind of opportunity where they can carry on their false narrative propaganda against Muslims and particularly against Pakistanis. But I believe that the fake news and false news and such kind of propaganda do not have a long life. Eventually, it is the truth which prevails. Eventually, it is the facts which comes in front of the people. So, same situation is here as well. That as well, it is a time, high time from the Pakistani communities, from the government of Pakistan, from the Pakistani High Commission. It is very much required that they should definitely counter these, false allegations. They should counter this kind of, I would say, planned campaign against Muslims and particularly Pakistanis, British Pakistanis, because this is the time we have to give a befitting reply that what is our contribution, what is the reality. They cannot single out or marginalize Muslims. They cannot target Muslims. And RSS ideology, RSS, Americans, then Jewish, it is all a network. We all, I mean, as a Muslim, we need to understand that. Now, this is the time.
I mean, it was very surprising coming from the Indian community at large on X, proliferating such Islamophobic tirades when they themselves faced this racist attack regarding the H-1B issues back in America. So it's like we are both under attack, still we are against one another.
Actually, again, it is a problem of it is not the problem from the Americans, Indians living in America. It has been more perpetrated, or it has been more, I would say, escalated by the RSS and Indian Hindutva ideology sitting inside the Delhi, sitting in Bombay, sitting in those fake media houses which they are operating from there. I'll tell you the large majority of Indians in America, they do not involve in such kind of things, especially the educated majority. But of course, there is the existence of Hindutva ideology there. There is the existence of Indian RSS supported ideology there. They do their lobbying as well. So it is the time, very high time for Pakistan and from Pakistani diaspora in America to do the counter lobbying rather than doing other lobbying, which they are doing. I believe that it will damage Pakistan, what kind of lobbying they were doing sometime against our political situation in Pakistan and other things. It is a very high time for them to do the lobby of Pakistan's ideology, which is our national and state ideology.
Thank you so much, Dr. Hamid Khan Al Mashriqi. It's been a pleasure having you on this program. So, viewers, grooming gang issue, the story continues. Let's hope so sense prevails when it comes to countering such, I would say, right based wing extremism narratives, and that Pakistani community does come up with a reply concerning these severe and intoxicating allegations that are on X as well as being perpetrated by likes of Mr. Musk and far right groups. Thank you so much for watching us. Please do leave a like and subscribe our channel. That's it for today, folks. Goodbye.